May 29, 2007, Emmanuel Uduaghan, a medical doctor, was elected the governor and chief executive of Delta State, an oil-rich state in the south-south region of Nigeria. Now, that election gave him a 4-year term, which ended in 2011. He was then re-elected for another term of 4 years. That term will end on May 29, 2015. This means that it is 6 years since Dr. Uduaghan assumed the seat of governor of Delta State. At his inauguration, he hinged his administration on a 3-point agenda: peace and security, human capital development, and infrastructure capital development. In 6 years, how far has he gone in delivering on those promises he made to Deltans before he was elected? Has he kept faith with those promises? Well, hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi, and it's coming to you from Warri, an oil-rich city in Delta State in the south-south region of Nigeria. Interestingly, the governor of Delta State decided to set up something called the Directorate of Special Infrastructure. Why did he feel the need to do that? And the pioneer commissioner to drive that ministry and indeed drive the vision of Governor Emmanuel Uduaghan was appointed. And that's where 60 Minutes today is coming from. Following an argument with Orezi Esievo, the Commissioner for Special Infrastructure in Delta State, she says to me that Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan has kept faith with that promise, and she's decided to take me all around the state, from city to city. Indeed, they say Delta State is a multi-city state, so she's taking me around to see just what this governor has been able to do in 6 years. And we started off with education, taking a look at schools around the state.
So this is Igbudu Model Primary School.
Yeah. Was it existing before?
Absolutely, it's an existing school, and it's one of the schools picked by His Excellency the Governor of Delta State, Dr. Uduaghan, as a model primary school. So what you see here, the governor actually decided to make some schools model primary schools, and the rehabilitated schools that he's actually carrying on right now, 60 of them to be precise for batch 1 and another 66 for batch 2. The thrust is for those rehabilitated schools to also look like the model primary schools. So this facility you see here is Igbudu Model Primary School. It's a 16 classroom facility with an ICT class of 30 computers. You have a library here that is, at the end of the day, when it's completed, it's going to be equipped with furniture and books. You have the head teacher's office here as well. You have a sick bay, an auditorium to see the children, and of course the sporting facilities that Delta State is known for, and is one of the main facilities that the governor wants in all the schools to make sure that we can catch our children young. They can be engaged in extracurricular activities. So this is one of the schools. The one we saw yesterday is GRA Model Primary School in Asaba.
Yes.
This one is Igbudu Primary School. We have other ones. We have Igbogidi Model Primary School. We have Atuashe Model Primary School. We have Okurigwe Model Primary School. They cut across the 3 senatorial districts.
The school we saw that had the destroyed burglary proof and the destroyed doors. I was wondering why the Delta State government is not considering metal doors for its classrooms.
Well, in Delta State, the governor believes that the children should really have the best because they're the leaders of tomorrow. And if you see those metallic fabricated doors and windows, it makes the schools look like prisons, really. So the governor decided that this time around, we will have white doors, white windows that cut across all the schools in Delta State. Even if any agency has to intervene in Delta State, the state policy is that you have to do your schools like what we have on ground, what the state is doing right now. That's the green roof, the white doors, white windows, courtyards, sporting facilities, and the same color as well. so that we can have a nice synergy and all the schools can look alike.
This is Ikegunwa Primary School, also in Warri. People are going to write to me, Honorable, saying these schools are not yet in our area. We've seen some in Asaba, we've seen some in Warri. What do I say to them?
The truth is that we have over 1,000 schools in Delta State. Primary schools, secondary schools are about 450. And the government cannot intervene in all the schools at once, in one go. It has to be gradual because government purse is not unlimited. Right. Every year, the state government will settle down and, do a budget and capture the projects that they will take. Yes. So our appeal, as a government is for people to be patient with this administration. Budgets are usually done at the beginning of the year. Yes. And the projects that are captured for that budget will be carried. Right now, His Excellency has actually intervened in a lot of schools. Right. Amongst that 1,000 schools, over 350 schools have gotten one form of intervention or the other. And work is still ongoing till the end of this year when the 2014 budget will be done. Yes. So people have to be patient. We can't do all these jobs in a go. Mm-hmm. Schools are in most communities and gradually other schools will be taken on board.
Okay. Is Ikegunwa one of the schools that will be commissioned?
Absolutely, by the grace of God. Yes.
Right. Any challenges running this school?
For now, the only challenges we have now is the fence behind them.
What is wrong with the fence?
They did not block the fence. We want them to block that fence. Because these children, when we are on assembly ground, they will be hiding behind. When we drive them from the main gate, they will run to the other side.
Okay, so you are not able to be in control of the premises?
Yes.
Okay, so this Ikegunwa Primary School, the fence at the back,
and there's another outlet in this compound that people from this compound, they come into this place.
Wow. Civilians, not anything to do with this school?
No.
That's a very tough question, really, because if you look at the things that the government does, the government will come and rehabilitate the school, the government will furnish the school with benches, with equipment. Education is free. The government is providing free education. The government can't do everything. It is too huge, for government to take all the responsibility. Yes. Education is free at the elementary level, secondary school, government will pay WAEC and exam fees, and they get to tertiary institutions, they finish with first class, they give them scholarship. All hands have to be on deck. Teachers, you have to own the schools. It's a collective responsibility. Parents should help us with their children at home. Teachers, I know you are doing your best, you keep helping.
Well, there you have it. The principal of the school complaining about security. Well, as far as security in the public schools are concerned, my research shows that security in the public primary schools is the responsibility of the State Universal Basic Education Board, that's SUBEB, and security in the public secondary schools is the responsibility of the Ministry for Basic Education in Delta State.
Dr. Emmanuel Udwaga, I want to say thank you for the things that you have done in our school. Our school was not like this before, but I thank you for what you have done in our school. It's not beautiful. Thank you.
This is one of the schools. It's actually been completed. It's Abuato Primary School, but when children use the school, this is what happens. It's an old school.
To be done here?
They have practically completed, but now that we want to hand over the school, they need to come back and just paint it nicely.
One more time.
Yeah, that's it.
And they can't do that obviously while the school is in session.
Yeah, but when the children close, they should move on to site immediately and work. I expect them to work even weekends. If you take 2-3 days from Friday to Saturday, you are done. By Saturday evening, you are done. That's what I expect this contractor and all other contractors to do, because as at today, His Excellency has actually, under the Directorate of Infrastructure, has undertaken total rehabilitation and brand new construction of 60 schools. And about 36 of those schools are practically completed, while the other ones are at different levels of completion. So the exercise for the contractors is to go back to site, do the final painting and make sure this place is ready for handing over.
Okay, so was this one of the schools that were renovated or freshly built?
Completely rehabilitated. You can say freshly built because the buildings were really, really bad. They had to pull down everything. So I can say this school is rebuilt, constructed. Yes.
Okay, so I know you're from infrastructure, but how do you determine where the children go to school? Do they go to the school nearest to where they live?
We don't determine that. I think they go to the schools near to their homes, nearest to where they live. So this is an old school that has been in existence, and when His Excellency visited this school, he actually directed that they pull all the structures down and rebuild.
Why? It was really
because
bad.
they were bad. Yeah. The Ministry of Basic and Primary Education goes around, identify these schools that need rehabilitation and construction, as the case may be, and we go to sites.
And that's why your ministry is very important, special infrastructure, for those things that the state government considers expedient, but there's no other person to do.
The Ministry for Basic and Primary Education does construction of schools, as well.
Yes.
And the State Universal Basic Education Board actually intervenes as well. But under the Directorate of Infrastructure, we do total rehabilitation. So for example, you go to a school and the entire school needs total rehabilitation. Yes, that's one of the mandates that the governor has given us. So you see here right now we're handling 60 schools, 36 of them are completed, the other ones are at various levels of completion. And the governor has also directed that the second batch for another 66 schools be done. Those 66 schools have been scoped. So when we mean scoped, we've gone down there with the consultants, the engineers, and the staff of the directorate as well, and actually scoped for the bill of quantities and what it would take to be done. That has been done, and we are ready to go to the State Executive Council for approval.
Now, before that second phase of another 60 will be done, will you complete this?
Absolutely. They're all moving simultaneously. Delta State is a construction site. You see the model primary schools are ongoing. Some have been commissioned. You see rehabilitated schools ongoing. 4 polytechnics are ongoing as well. Polytechnic at Abigborodo, Bomadi, Abo, and Saple. So Delta State is a construction site, and the governor is completely on duty. This is Asaba Secondary School. It's also a state school. This is brand new construction, what you see here, to give them more classroom blocks. And these schools are not just rehabilitated by the administration, they're also furnished with benches at the end of the day.
Why does this one have both the primary and secondary?
It's an existing school. It has a primary and secondary school. So what the governor has done here is first to rehabilitate the existing school and also build an additional construction to give them more classroom blocks. Then if we walk over to the Asaba Primary School, that was a school that was completely taken down by this administration because there wasn't a proper outlay, and all the classroom blocks were taken down and a brand new construction was done to give them over 38 classrooms. If you see here, you see that we have what we call facing bricks.
These red bricks. I'm noticing that that's sort of standard now in all the schools.
All the schools are now carrying these facing bricks. His Excellency, as you know, goes on project inspection as well. And when he went to one of the schools, he realized that because of the terrain where we are, the nature of our soil that is red, when it rains, it splashes on the wall
and leaves a red stain.
So he directed that all the schools should have facing bricks. So what you see here is what we call the facing bricks and the picket fence for schools where people trade, which is really a big challenge that we have here. You see people they just go to front of a school, they just mount their stalls and sell. Some even turn it to garages. You see the keke garage and car parks. So this is what is obtaining now in all the schools, and the same goes for the second batch as well.
So all the classrooms are occupied. That means that they were probably inadequate in the first place. So you really needed more classrooms.
Before this time, the classrooms were not enough. With this that they have done, they are adequate. Yes.
And, what are there any challenges you would like the government to know about? Anything else you think is lacking now in this structure?
Yes, laboratories. Equipping them. We have identified
the labs,
but we just need the furniture
to be equipped. This is the old Asaba Primary School. This is what the primary school looked like before the Delta State government stepped in and ordered them all to be demolished. New blocks were built, and we're going now to see them. They are not completed yet. We've seen some completed model primary schools, but here the work is still ongoing. The commissioner says in another couple of weeks, all these will be done. But just to give you an idea of where Delta State has moved to, from this to this. This is Omado Primary School in Isele-Uku. That's in Aniocha North local government area. And as the commissioner has said, all the school projects are distributed evenly around the 3 senatorial districts that make up Delta State: Delta North, Delta South, and Delta Central senatorial districts.
We don't really know. So it was during the holiday time that when we came back, we started seeing this ugly situation like that. So we really felt very bad about the whole thing. In fact, the back road there, that's the door. We want to block it so that this miscreants don't enter into the school again. So that is
How can the state government put this school in place?
Look behind you, Honorable Commissioner. Look at that.
They're cutting all the burglaries. Why? They're even trying to pull them off.
Do they like these things in this community?
They do.
So why this?
Just a few. The other day, we called the police to arrest some of them, and they took them to the station.
And you didn't see anybody doing this?
No.
Have you reported
Is it
to community leaders?
There was a time they came here.
No, you people need
around.
to see. You see, because when the state government does projects like this,
Yes.
one of the things that the state government will always tell you is for communities to own the schools. If you do not own the schools and you treat them like government projects or whatever, then this will happen. Because if Dr. Odoan can go out of his way to be rehabilitating schools and constructing new schools for your children, our children to attend, the least we can do is for both parents, community leaders, traditional rulers, ESCO of communities, president generals and community chairmen to really make sure they own these projects. This school has not even been handed over and they destroyed the doors and burglaries. We need to own our projects. The projects that are located in your communities have to own them. You have to come together. You have to hold meetings and make sure that nobody does this. You have to watch out for the projects. If not, this is really a big challenge, and this challenge is across all the communities, I tell you.
Well, it's the end of the first day of inspection. I look forward to seeing you on the second day. Well, we'll take a break now. Join me again after the break.
I want to present myself as an African.
And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know,
I know what you like.
I know, and I know, and I know,
I know what you like.
Everything you love,
Baby, you love.
like,
Baby, you love. Baby, you love.
and I know, 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 and I know.
Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho. Baby, you like ho.
60 Minutes with Angela. Getting answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi, coming to you today from Delta State in the South region of Nigeria. And it's day 2 of my inspection with the Commissioner for Special Infrastructure, Orezi Esievo, in Delta State. Now, this is Okundai Primary School, still in the Agbo axis of Delta State. Preparations are ongoing, and you can see they're working hard to prepare the building for a final coat of paint before it's finally handed over to the authorities.
We don't have seats. But we don't have seats. We don't have seats. I don't want to go for us.
Wait, let me call the commissioner.
How are you?
Thank you.
You like your school?
Yes.
What's the complaint you told me about the school now?
We told you that we don't have seats.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Mr. Onini. Mr. Onini, please come. Seats for Okundai. Where are the seats? Benches. What do you mean by that? Okay, you're going to get seats, okay? The governor has provided seats for Okundai. So the benches are going to come. The only thing, I want to ask you a question. If they bring the benches and the way you like this your school, will you keep this school clean?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But the walls are already dirty. What happened? You were touching them with the red sand. You must keep your schools clean, okay? The benches intact. Protect the things that the government has provided for you to school so that you can have a beautiful school to attend. Yes. Okay? Yes. God bless you.
So what is the situation now? These seats for the children in this school, Okundai, what is happening? How soon are they going to get the seats?
I can confidently tell you that in the next 2 weeks, benches are going to be brought here. We have a beautiful synergy with the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Okay. The commissioner representing NDDC from Delta State, actually we all sit down together, we have meetings, we have a synergy between the SOPADEC, NDDC, Niger Delta Ministry in making sure that we don't duplicate projects. Right. So as the governor, Dr. Oduanga is rehabilitating schools and constructing new schools across Delta State, across the 3 senatorial districts. In one of the meetings we had, NDDC also said, okay, since you are building schools, we will bench all those schools. Wow. So right now, 40,000 benches are going to be provided by NDDC for all the schools that are being rehabilitated, the brand new schools that are constructed, and even existing schools in Delta State. And over 30,000 of those benches have actually come straight here. So
will probably
definitely,
be an ongoing
definitely
thing.
It is. When we go to some of the schools, you even see the benches as we go out to more schools too.
I got a letter saying there's a lot of activity going on NRA Junction. What exactly is going on here?
As you know, this is what the governor of Delta State calls his Delta State Urban Renewal Strategy.
Right.
And basically, he's carrying out this strategy through junction improvement works, which is what is going on right now. Okay. The bus shelters, which you see across town, both in Asaba and in Warri, yes. The mega bus terminals and the bus terminals. Right. The junction improvement work is massive. What you see here is almost like a road construction or road rehabilitation. Right. You see, at the end of the day, they're going to have drains, they're going to have lay-bys, they're going to have this curb work that is going on, and it will decongest traffic.
Okay, so give us an idea of what this junction was like that prompted the state government to decide to take that action.
This is the heart of Warri. Okay. This is really NRA Junction. I don't know how to like. This is the boiling point, yes. In Warri, and I tell you, this is a very strategic junction as well. So His Excellency is actually doing the junction improvement works from NRA Junction down to NRA Motel, all the way down to Ibudu Primary School on this side. You also have other intervention in other junctions like Deco Junction will be done, right. Airport Junction, Jakpa Junction, Cemetery Junction, right. And of course in Asaba as well you have Cable Point, traffic light, about 12 really major junctions in Delta State. These are going to include roundabouts if the need be. They'll be properly done. There'll be drains. The roads are wide and you can see, and a lot of work is ongoing to make this place very nice with traffic lights, traffic signs, painted walkways for people to move and goods to be ferried with ease. We also want to use this opportunity to always appeal to people really, because if the government can embark on such a huge infrastructure to make sure that life is easy for all of us, and at the end of the day the place will look beautiful, which is the urban renewal thing you see, we have to play our part as citizens of Delta State to keep the roads clean, not to litter the roads, not to litter drains. People trash drains, they trash their garbage bins into the drains and they block the drains, and also people just trade indiscriminately on the road.
And that's another question. How were you able to coerce people? Because I can imagine the
governor came here himself. His Excellency
serious?
Actually drove right into the heart of this place, stopped here, addressed everybody and told them this is what he wants to do and everybody should back off. And
he got the cooperation.
Absolutely. I mean, for the governor to come here, that is a lot. And of course, we didn't need to even talk to anybody because everybody just got the gist and knew this is serious. And the contractor moved into site immediately. And he still comes here from time to time to carry out this inspections himself.
So how long are we looking for? This is May. We're looking to celebrate 6 years of His Excellency as the governor of the state. How long before this?
We're looking at 3 months.
3 months.
3 months, about 90 days.
90 days. Okay,
Yes.
so we'll be back to check again. Welcome back to day 3 of my inspection with Orezi Esievo, the Commissioner for Special Infrastructure in Delta State, taking me around Delta State, all the towns and cities, looking at how far the governor has kept faith with his 3-point agenda. This is the Sapele Abigborodo Aranwan Road. It's the road leading to Abigborodo. Incidentally, the village from which where the governor and chief executive of Delta State comes from. And this is the first bridge along that road leading to Abigborodo. It's just one of the special infrastructure that the government of Delta State is embarking upon under the Directorate of Special Infrastructure, led by Orezi Esievo, the commissioner. The bridge we're standing on means that this community was inaccessible by car or by foot. Anyone who wanted to go to Abigborodo had to go by canoe. However, we're here today with the contractors handling the bridges and the roads, and they're here with the commissioner. You talked a little bit about unsuitable materials. And coming in, I'm looking at the terrain, it's kind of darker and it's different.
Constructing roads in the Niger Delta region is very, very difficult. This road actually started out like that. This thick vegetation
was on where we're standing
now.
Absolutely.
So they have to take out all unsuitable material. Some of this stuff you see here, and you really have to excavate very deep.
If you don't excavate, what happens? The road will fail?
It will fail. Then you now pile sharp sand. You start filling with sharp sand.
Not with red sand?
No way. Not in the coastal regions. It's sharp sand.
Sharp sand is expensive.
Absolutely. That's why the roads come very expensive as well. And not just expensive, it takes time to do roads here. We have our weather, we have the challenge with rain and the short dry season that we have, And of course, in Delta States, we pride ourselves, by the grace of God, in making sure we take very competent people. Selective tendering, we pick contractors with capacity. And this road that you see here, we're going to go through to the other end. It's an 11-kilometer road from Sapele down to Abigborodo and Aranwan. And we have 2 bridges. One is the one we're standing on right now. It's 20 meters long. And the second bridge is 180 meters long. That takes us straight into Abigborodo.
So if we weren't standing on this bridge, how would we get to Abigborodo?
We'll go through a tiny wooden bridge.
Footbridge?
Wooden footbridge.
So in other words, cars couldn't go across to Abigborodo?
Not at all.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah, but by the grace of God, by the end of this year, all things being equal, we'll be driving into Abigborodo.
Can see all the pilings has been done,
yes,
which was the major challenge for us to do the piling, because when you are walking in swampy terrain in the river underneath the water, there are too many challenges, because you are working in an area where you cannot see what's happening. You only rely on technical data, on sounding, on current scientific tests.
Yes.
So this challenge has been completed by the grace of God, and now, as you can see, we are working on the superstructures, on the pile caps and the columns and the plinths. And as you can see, now we are ready to put our beams, the prefabricated beams. In the yard, we've casted 40 beams. 40 beams, enough to cover 5 spans. 5 spans are ready in the yard. We just have to come and position them. Of concrete in this terrain, you cannot imagine how much effort and how much finance you have to put to get those kind of quality here.
Yes.
So that's why we have our own concrete batching plant, our own cranes and formwork, and everything is imported. In order to
and
get
as
this
you're
complete.
doing all this and all this work, are you involving the locals? Have you employed Deltans in these projects?
Specific task, we have the expertise of some expatriate.
Yes.
But even that, we have some people from the locals understudying those expatriate, because the next bridge we'll be able to do it with the locals.
Yes.
But for the first bridge here, we can do it with some expertise from outside the country. But for the next another bridge or another location where we have to do bridges, I think with the people that we have, we can start doing it with local expertise.
So, Mr. Esievo, when are we looking at? When will we be able to cross this second
the
bridge?
contractor tells us that by the end of this year, by God's grace, we'll be driving into Abigbodo.
That's end of 2013.
2013.
Okay.
We'll be driving into Abigbodo. So we're all looking forward to that, and I think that's the biggest task for them. From what I see here today, I will say I am very, very impressed with the pace of work and especially the quality of work. You know, so you can see the beams, and I'm really impressed. And I think you'll probably be able to make that target, you know, for 2013.
So
December
all timelines
2013.
are being observed.
Absolutely.
Everything is moving on
Absolutely.
smoothly.
This foundation here ties all the piles together. You have the pile cap, you have the piles down, pile cap, columns, cross beam, then the main beams.
8.
8
How many are here now? 8?
You mean,
How many of these structures do you have? This one?
Oh, we have 10 of those structures.
10 in place right now.
Yes.
And you're done.
The distance, which is the span.
That's unique for the beams. They are already in the yard.
Okay.
You have 20-meter distance between each pier. From this pier to this pier, you have 20 meters. What it will link we will link them together with one precast beam. Wow. You will come and put precast beams, 8 number this way, 8 number this way, and you will bridge that space with those beams that you saw in the yard a long time ago, which they are already there. So once we finish here, we are ready for launching. We'll come and put those beams, then we cast the deck. Then after casting the deck, the motors can cross.
And SPD is also telling me that you already started sand filling on the other side.
Yes.
With sharp sand?
Yes.
For how many kilometers? Meters?
From the end of that bridge, we have almost like 2 kilometers to reach the end of Abigbodo. So it's, in terms of volume of work, it's not that big. The biggest challenge.
Do you have
is
community
to finish that
challenges
bridge.
here? You don't?
No.
Everyone's cooperating with you.
Yes.
I mean, they have to cooperate, Mr. Esievo. I mean, so for the people in this area, before this, once they get to this point, then what happens?
Canoes take over, speedboats take over. You know, and I must mention here that in Delta State especially, that's a speedboat coming.
Wow.
You want to take a peek at that? Yes, those are the kind of marine transportation that you see. Aside the fact that, of course, the governor is doing a lot in that area as well. I mean, he's bought a lot of boats that he's going to give out to coastal communities. I just want to mention here some of the challenges that, you know, states like Delta State and the governor has here. For a state like Delta State, we have several urban centers. You have to distribute development evenly. You have to do development in the upland areas, like the 149-kilometer road that we saw today, and also come to the coastal communities as well. So it's a lot of work for any governor, and you cannot at all. So for me, this is really impressive on the part of the governor, who doesn't have just the political will, but the backing as well in terms of funding for this project. So you develop urban communities, you develop coastal communities, you develop upland areas, and you also have to go to the coastal communities to make sure that development gets to them. And when this is completed, what happens? There are a lot of communities in these areas. It opens up all these communities. So you stem urban drift. Everybody does not have to go and live in Warri
or Asaba.
Instead, we should be going back here. This should be new towns in future, because I mean, living here, for me, I would love to live in this kind of place. Waterfront, this is better. You know, or come over here for weekends. Tourism will thrive, because this is what people, international people, communities want to come and see. So it is very important that developments take place both in the upland areas and in the coastal communities, and that is what Dr. Duanga has actually perfected. I'm saying so because this is not just the road. We have Trans-Warrior Ishekiri access roads and bridges. It's a 23-kilometer road with 23 bridges. Terrain is just like this as well, all the way from Ubeji down to Ode Ishekiri, with spurs to Ughelli, you know, and you go through Seba. That road opens up over 10 communities. That is a lot of economic activities happening. In fact, the Trans-Warrior Ishekiri access road and bridges has a beautiful private depot already And that has brought in business to that area because of that road that the governor is constructing. So a lot of this road, we have the Benukoko Road, Delta State Government, Dr. Odwana as well. We have the 149-kilometer road. We have the upland road like the Efrun Osubi Road. So you have to do roads, projects, development everywhere, both in rural areas, upland areas, coastal communities. Everybody needs development. POS is not unlimited, but development has to just go everywhere to make people have that sense of belonging.
So are you saying that the governor himself, when he's going to Abigborodo and he gets here, he will go in a canoe?
Yeah, before now, speedboat here. But now, they'll be able to drive down by God's grace by the end of the year.
Well, we'll take a break now. Join me again after the break.
I want to present myself as an African.
And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know,
I know what you like.
I know, and I know, and I know,
I know what you like.
Everything you love,
Baby, you love.
like,
Baby, you love. Baby, you love.
and I know, 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 I know,
Baby, you like. Baby, you like. Baby, you like. Baby, you like.
Who knows Abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things wey dey see so. Na money government dey take do am now. Abi, as in, it's like, I mean, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do wetin? I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. Have you pay your tax?
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now with Orezi Esievo, the Commissioner for Special Infrastructure in Delta State.
The first 6 kilometers, we are going to finish the median and the street light. We have bought all the street light for it and the drainage as well. And we are preparing for that. There is drainage by these two sides, on the right side and the left side. So we have prepared for that. And the median we started on this one, but we are going to change something on this. We want to put a breakcast on this one.
Speed breakers?
Yes, we are moving this one to change it. Wow. And we have also, I think 700 to 1 kilometers is ready to lay asphalt. So we need to face that one as well. Why we stopped small times? Just because of the certificates, money issues, just because of that.
The way things are going is glaring that they are not working. They are out of sight completely. There's no personnel, no equipment, and there's no proof of. I had complained earlier and they said they had issues with payments, which to me I don't think that's right. So I think this project should be looked into properly so it doesn't cause any kind of embarrassment to the government.
Okay. What was the timeline for this project?
I think timeline is about 4 years. Thereabouts. This is the 149-kilometer dualized road from Ughelli to Asaba. Right. It's actually divided into 3 sectors, sectors A, B, and C. Right. We're right now in sector C. Right. This is one of the sectors where we have the most challenges. Challenges in terms of pace of work, quality of work, and the attitude of work. Yes, he has rightly said payments, but like the SPD, his special project director, just said, it is not a question of payment, because I think government on his own part has been very fair to this contractor. This contractor was mobilized from day one, to this site, and even what government has advanced in terms of payment, it is not commensurate with what is on ground. So it still borders down on attitude of work, and I think. Sector C, you have to really, really put your heart together. Yes, we're owing you, and it's just one certificate, isn't it, Mister? You really need to try.
Yes, we will do so.
I'm telling you the truth.
Also, another thing, please, let me put it, is the review also for this road. So the review...
You are not the only contractor on this road. Okay. You're always coming with one issue or the other, one excuse.
No, it's not as an excuse. This one's the one I'm saying, sorry. It will just draw us back a little.
It won't draw you back. The government mobilized you very well. We haven't even amortized what was mobilized. So your work on ground is not commensurate with what you have been paid. Practically speaking, technically speaking, you are owing the state government. So I don't think this is the kind of excuse that we want.
No,
if you want to work. If out of 149 kilometers, Dr. Oduwanga is able to do 100 kilometers on this road, between God and man, he has delivered. But I pray that he's able to cover the 149. If not, then if you want to work, if you don't want to work, just give us space so another contractor can pick up this work.
This is supposed to be like...
No, we are competent enough.
Yeah, this is Asaba.
We have the equipment. It's not as we don't have the equipment.
So what are they doing? Lying in your...
No.
Doing what? You are even aware we're coming for inspection, so nobody is on ground. I remember somebody came to my office, I think it's from NTA. They stormed and they said that Sector C, 1, they are not on ground, they are not working. 2, even when they work, they don't put caution signs. And I want to say this clearly because I had to really address those journalists. When you're on site, put up your caution sign so that, to prevent accidents.
Yes.
It's very important because in as much as, yes, the state government is doing this 149-kilometer road, the state government is very mindful of health, safety, and environment. Those HSC things must be in place for people. This bridge is 300 meters. It's one of the major bridges and is right in Sector B. The bridge is 100% completed right now. And I was just trying to draw attention to the fact that the beautiful part about what the governor is doing here is that even the shoulders of the road, they're actually asphalted as well. Yes. I'm sure as we drive forward, you will see that. So this bridge is Ossissa Bridge, is 100% completed. It is 300 meters.
And it's along the Ughelli
Asaba Dualised road. Yes.
Now, when you say the shoulder is asphalted, that means that if a car has a breakdown, the 2 lanes of the road will still be free. There will be a space on the hard shoulder for the car to park.
Yes, it's a hard shoulder.
And in addition to that, that it is a lay-by for the drivers to just take a rest on the shoulder and to avoid any accidents. The shoulder asphalt, the decision of making the shoulder asphalt, it will protect corrosion to the main road. Before it was the chips, which is the surface granite dressing. It's a granite. The rain after years, it will really go, wash out. Yes. And then the water will start affecting the main road. With asphalting the 2 shoulders right now, it's protecting really the main road.
So what was the alternative here before this bridge? How were people crossing?
No, we had an existing bridge. Existing bridge.
This is a more modern.
This is a new one because, of course, 300 kilometers. Like I always say, if you dualized road, 150. This bridge is definitely coming because it's on the new side, and you can see they're already working on the existing road and on the existing bridge as well.
This is the water is a big factor in this area, which is we treat the swamp area and we do filtration. We put sharp sand, we put filter material, which is different size of aggregate at the bottom, until we reach the water table, the level of the water. We exceed the level of water. Then we start putting the laterite, which is sub-base. The sub-base in layers. We do that 15 centimeter each layer, compacted, and it is tested up to when we reach to the top, the formation level. We put the stone base. Stone base 20 centimeter. Then we put 2 layers of asphalt.
The contractor working in Sector B and Sector A of the 149-kilometer road being done by Dr. Oduwanga is CCC. We are very, very impressed with the quality and pace of work here because we've actually gone around. We started from the end, from their first chain 0. We went through the Ossissa Bridge, and that has been completed since last year, 100% completed. You can see that people have actually started using more than 40 kilometers of the other side of the road completed. They have moved on to the existing road, and this is just the axis bordering towards Arade. We are very impressed with the quality of work that CCC is doing in Sector A and Sector B, and we use this medium to appeal to the contractor for Sector C to please emulate them and pick up pace with his work. Your presence here is very important, especially in these communities. We've been driving through the length and breadth of this 149-kilometer road that has been embarked upon by the governor of Delta State. And you must understand that for the governor to build a critical infrastructure like this, one of the reasons, aside the benefits it will give to the people of Delta State in terms of, businesses conveying your goods and services and people to places, I mentioned earlier that it opens up over 70 communities. It actually gives business to Warri Port, which is one of the main reasons why His Excellency took out time to embark on this project, which is a federal project. And I also want to mention that another reason why the governor builds infrastructure like this is to create jobs.
Yes.
It is very, very important that you know that. So when you work in communities like this, you want to make sure that in building this infrastructure that spans 149 kilometers, you create jobs for the indigenes of the communities. So I hope you're doing that. I remember the last time we met in the office, we said when we come, we'd like to know how many people are working with you from the communities. Okay. The government wants to create jobs for Deltans, and this is one of the ways to reach out to them. Any government that undertakes infrastructure creates jobs, whether here or in Efrun or at Subi or anywhere at all. Even in the construction of schools that His Excellency has embarked upon, I can tell you that for every school that he's rehabilitating or for every brand new school he's constructing, jobs are created. At times in a school, you can get at least 20 persons working in a school. And you also have contractors who are from the communities as well, who are Deltans, who are supplying the granite, the sand, the cement, blocks, windows, doors, these, just name it. It empowers people. That is one of the main thrusts of the Oduanga administration, to create jobs. It is job creation, job creation, job creation.
We have 45 seniors from and 90%
45.
45 from
45 from senior and 600 for all unskilled. Really, but that's fine. That's, more will be appreciated. Yeah. Because we have lots of graduate people that are out of schools looking for jobs, engineers, doctors, name it, electrical engineers, even administrative work. Yeah. This is a way that the governor, that's why you see a lot of construction going on by His Excellency. Really, you see this road, this is just 149 kilometer road. We have the Efrun-Osubi Dualised road. We have the Benukoko road. We have the Transport Security Access Road and Bridges, Saple Agbiborodo Aromo Road. What happens? It creates jobs. Even the township roads in Asaba, it creates jobs. It should create jobs for our locals.
Yeah, and just to add, we have another 22 25 really on Sector B alone now. On Sector A, it will be increased this IT system.
Okay,
which is
very
a college, university student that he comes train with us, and he stays for 6 months, 3 months, and then go back to school. Okay. So he comes in here and trains. We have about 22 students really.
On really? IT?
Yeah.
From the communities,
from the communities. It comes from many departments, Ministry of Work, Ministry of, from your side, from many people. They send us IT people, and he comes walk-in only.
So you pass on technical expertise.
Of course. He goes, he study, maybe after he graduation he comes back, then we know.
Whether you employ him or not.
Yes.
That's good.
Okay, so Delta State is paying a lot of attention to local content.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the program this week. Don't forget to like 60 Minutes with Angela on Facebook. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter, Angela at 60 Minutes. I'm Angela Ajetomobi. I thank you for the pleasure of your company.